Howl, 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 let's sleep with the dogs of war. Yeah, so I remembered that I kind of liked Jazz Jackrabbit from back in the day, so I'm going to have a session of this. I might end up playing through the whole game for all I know. This game holds some sentimental value for me. Man, it goes to show that nothing ever changes, does it? Like, they've still got Batman and Wonder Woman hanging around. This is also one of the, for those who do not know about this is one of the early games of Cliffy B himself. Now, I hear Cliffy B does not want to be called Cliffy B anymore, but too bad, Cliffy. Nicknames tend to stick, don't they? So, this is one of the, I think it's one of the first game I ever saw that had, like, the different images for the difficulty. It made you look wussier if you chose the easy difficulty, you know. It's kind of like in Doom and stuff. They're very kind of confrontational and competitive, these 90s games. Very kind of manly, shooty stuff. I'm actually using a joypad to play this game. I'm using an Xbox 360 controller to play this game from, like, 1994 or something. It's great. Is that the right? Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what button does what, but I've organised it all in Joy to Key, and it basically works. I've tested this out. And also, the planet, I should point out the planet visiting graphic stuff there was a lot of the inspiration for my own game, Super Space Slayer 2, where you visit planets and, you know, all that planet visiting stuff. This was a lot of it. And this is how they made things in the 90s. You needed to have cartoon animals, but they need to have guns, because all the kids want to play with guns now. Guns are cool. Like, everyone likes, like, Cable in the X-Men and stuff, and all the heroes suddenly went hugely manly. They had big muscles and big guns, and it all got grim and serious, and this was kind of the kiddie version of that, I guess. Guns everywhere. Like, Earthworm Jim has a gun, too. This is how it was done. One day, I wouldn't mind making a game of my own, maybe, like, based on all these 90s things. I mean, there's a lot of people are actually doing that. There's Rad Rogers and the Nth Dimension, or whatever it is, that looks like it's based on old Apogee platformers, which is this kid with a gun saving the rainforest or something. I might put a link to that in the description. It's just kind of 90s things being reused in a wonderful way. I could talk all about having platforming and shooting. Well, actually, yeah, okay, look, as much as I like this game, and it is actually fun to play, like, I'm kind of enjoying this, that it's hardly perfect game design-wise, and I think in the 90s there was a bit of a time where so much of it was about the rapidly changing technology and stuff. Well, like, there was a lot of emphasis on that, and a lot less emphasis on the intelligent design, because, like, with this game, say, like, the point of Jazz is that he goes fast, right? But he also has a gun, and, like, when you have a gun, what do you want to do? You want to, like, shoot at people from a distance, right? Take advantage of the ranged attack. But Jazz goes running into danger. It makes no sense. And quite often, if you want to do better at the game, this is a weakness in Sonic the Hedgehog as well, that you've got to be more cautious, even though that's completely antithetical to what the game is supposed to be about. So, I don't know, there is that. I like the secrets tucked away too. I am a complete sucker for secrets. What else was I going to talk about? Oh well, I'm sure it'll come to me. It's almost like sort of platforming game Kiddie Doom or something to me, this game. Where you kind of just run in and shoot everybody. This is what it was about back then. I tend to get kind of I do like to at least try to collect all the things. You get lots of points for collecting all the things in this game. I don't think the points are good for anything except for your completely personal high score table. Like, these days, they definitely have leaderboards or something and have people doing speed runs. So in a way, there's room for a comeback here. Although this game did have sequels, I guess I could talk about them later. But like the second one I also played, might actually get around to playing that at some point on this show as well. And then there was Jazz Jackrabbit 3D, which got cancelled. So Jazz is one of those casualties of the move from 2D to 3D, pretty much. Also, I really like the music in this game. The music in this game was kind of a big musical inspiration for me for a long time. Like, I used to play the piano and stuff, and this was all I knew back then. There's a lot of kind of 80s and 90s vibe musical stuff going on in this game. Once you've got rapid fire, actually, it's kind of, I don't even know, like, the fighting the baddies is kind of pedestrian in a way. Like, once you've got rapid fire, you barely even notice the bad guys are there. It's a bit weird. And it's just kind of a matter of remembering where they are. Like, Jazz's real weakness is falling down, because he kind of shoots ahead of himself, and there's not much you can do to shoot stuff that's down. If they just figured that out, if the turtle bad guys would just figure out Jazz's crucial weakness, Jazz would be screwed. If I just hold down the rapid fire, it makes this comforting rumble of ow. Oh, the bees are kind of annoying. Like, they're right there in the air, and these turtles didn't even seem to be up to much, do they? Like, they're just walking around. They're not even doing I don't know, okay, I'm sort of deliberately exploring the annoying side of this game now, but there are annoying features of it as well. The movement kind of feels good. I guess that's the main thing, isn't it? It does actually sort of feel good to just run forward with this guy and kind of go for it. And yeah, this game was absolutely wannabe PC gamers Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, because it worked for me. I didn't really have Sonic back in the day. I only had PC games. I didn't have any Sonic or Mario at all. And I would just occasionally be able to play Sonic at some other kid's house. So it always had this real mystique for me. There wasn't so much of that anymore. Like, you can normally get your hands on anything, and there's less of this mystique, which I suppose is technically a good thing, but I'm going to complain about it anyway. This game isn't. I don't know. Actually, yeah, I really like the waterfalls and stuff in this game. They were for quite a long time actually. While I was making things in Click Team Fusion, I would be inspired by the waterfalls to try and make my own cool waterfalls. Joke was on me. Click Team is not really that. Well, back then at least, the stuff they had wasn't really that good for lots of animating graphics. It slowed things down, I think, but. Were there speed shoes in Sonic? I think some of the time there were speed shoes in Sonic. Like, even when I originally played this, I was kind of aware that there was a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog tropes in this game. Is that the most effective way to get those? Right, I'd love to know who made the music for this. And I can find out. I'd love to talk to the music guy who did this. Oh boys, the bonus level, secret level thing. I know there are secret levels in some of the other levels. I'm not quite sure how it works. And back then you could kind of put any old thing you wanted into games. If you wanted to put a secret level in there because you thought it would be cool, you didn't need to consult a board of directors or something, you know? There was just a small team doing whatever, working over the night to make their dreams come true. I guess I should probably impart what I know of Cliffy B as well. Like, nowadays, Cliffy B himself is working at Boss Key Studios. I think he's the owner or something. He's one of the bosses. Anyway, I think this was the start of his career, this game, because he made the levels for it. And apparently, word is they made it. Someone else, some programmer, I guess, made a good tool to build the levels with. So I guess in a way, Cliffy B had a kind of a lucky start there. He was given this great tool to make levels with, and must have just played things well after that. I don't know what rescuing the parrots really does, if anything. I can use the trigger buttons to shoot in this as well. I like my own setup. Where was I? Yeah, anyway, he made the levels for this. In fact, the sequel, Jazz Jackrabbit 2, has actually released the level editing program they used along with the game. So I ended up making a whole bunch of levels for it as well, which now don't ask because they don't really exist anymore. I think they're gone from the internet, lost to the mist of time. All kind of 1998 stuff or something. Yeah, this is kind of weird. Like, there's a lot that some of these old games are kind of weird. You know, there's stuff in them that there's no way you'd accept with a new game. Like, what bullshit is this? Like, they basically didn't make this boss. This turtle guy is just not up to snuff. But he's just kind of there. Like, things are wild, dude. And look how I killed the only enemy in this area, but I have 0% of the enemies. Like, that won't happen in my games, I tell you. In Super Space, I keep rigorous track of how many enemies you've killed and all that business. Oh yeah, I actually really like this level as well, but hang on. Alright, I'm going to have a separate session playing this, because I think this is the perfect time to stop. Roll, 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 roll.